The snow fell gently outside the cafe window, blanketing New York's sidewalks in a soft, magical hush. Inside, warm golden lights flickered across glass ornaments. The faint hum of Christmas carols filled the space, and families shared laughter over steaming cups of cocoa. At the far corner table, she sat alone. Victoria Hale, age 42, billionaire CEO, cover model for Forbes, Fortune, and Wall Street Journal. She was a name people whispered in boardrooms, a legend in corporate circles. But tonight, none of that mattered. Tonight, she was just a woman, staring into her untouched tea as loneliness tightened its grip. Her assistant had reserved this cozy little cafe, hoping to soften the sting of another Christmas Eve spent alone. But even in the glow of fairy lights and cinnamon-scented air, Victoria felt colder than the snow piling up outside. No one recognized her. And if they did, they looked away, perhaps intimidated, or perhaps simply uninterested in the woman whose empire was built on steel, numbers, and discipline. The truth? Victoria didn't blame them. She hadn't spoken to her sister in over 7 years. She hadn't attended a family dinner since her mother's funeral. She didn't even keep a dog. Christmas was nothing more than a distraction, or so she told herself. That's when she heard a small voice. "Excuse me?" Victoria looked up, startled. A little girl stood beside her table. No more than 7 years old, cheeks flushed from the cold, wearing a coat that was clearly a size too big. In her hand, a candy cane. Behind her, a man, probably her father, offered a soft smile and a small nod from across the room. The girl pointed to their booth. "Do you want to have dinner with us?" Victoria blinked. "Me?" The girl giggled. "Yes, you. You look lonely. Daddy says no one should eat alone on Christmas." Victoria glanced at the father again. Tired eyes, flannel shirt, patched up jacket. Not someone from her world, but he had the kind of warmth that didn't need wealth to shine. I wouldn't want to intrude." The girl leaned in like she was telling a secret. "We have mashed potatoes, and Dad makes the best pie." For the first time in months, maybe years, Victoria let out a genuine laugh. A small one, but real. She stood slowly, picked up her coat, and followed the girl. Their table wasn't lavish. A small roasted chicken, canned cranberry sauce, lumpy mashed potatoes. No fine china. No expensive wine. But there was something else. Laughter, stories, and the kind of love you can't buy. The father's name was Jack, and the little girl? Lily. Jack explained how they'd lost Lily's mother 3 years ago, and every Christmas since, they made it a tradition to invite someone who looked like they needed company. "It's how we keep her spirit alive," he said softly. Victoria mostly listened. She told him her name was Tori. Left out the billionaire part. Left out the skyscrapers, stock options, and cutthroat meetings. And when Lily asked if she liked Christmas, Victoria hesitated. "I'm starting to remember why I used to." As they finished dessert, apple pie with too much cinnamon, just how Lily liked it, Victoria's phone buzzed. It had been silent all day. Now, it lit up with messages, emails, and notifications. She was about to ignore it when one message caught her eye. It was from her younger sister. "Hey, haven't talked in years, but I thought of you tonight. Merry Christmas, V." Victoria's hands trembled. She hadn't spoken to her sister since their mother's passing. Why now? Why tonight? She looked up. Jack was wiping Lily's sticky fingers with a napkin. Lily smiled brightly, holding up her candy cane triumphantly. And just like that, something inside her broke and healed at the same time. The meetings, the money, the recognition, none of it had filled the quiet ache inside her. But tonight, a child's innocent invitation had done what millions couldn't. It made her feel human again. Before leaving, Victoria asked if she could take a photo with Lily. They posed, smiling. and just before the camera clicked, Victoria whispered, "Thank you, both of you." "For what?" Lily asked, her eyes wide. Victoria smiled. "For reminding me what Christmas is supposed to feel like." A week later, the cafe owner opened for the morning shift and found an envelope slipped under the door. Inside was a handwritten note. "Thank you for being my light on the coldest night of my life. Enclosed is a little gift to help keep your kindness going. Signed simply, Tori." Tucked at the letter was a check for $100,000. Somewhere on the 47th floor of Manhattan skyscraper, Victoria Hale sat at her desk. Her assistant waited as she stared at her phone for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. "Hi, yes. I'd like to book a flight. Actually make that two. One for me and one for my niece." She smiled gently. "Because this year, I'm going home." Sometimes, it's not the grandeur of gifts or the glitter of wealth that changes a heart. Sometimes, it's a simple seat at the table, a smile, a warm meal, a child's belief that no one should be alone. This Christmas, remember, even the most powerful people in the world might be waiting for one small act of kindness to remind them what truly matters.